Hello and welcome to the Con Couple. I'm Richard.
I'm hoping you don't spend this whole podcast yawning.
Saying that is just making it more likely that I'm going to do that because you know how psychosomatic that is.
Yeah, it is for you. It's great.
Yeah.
You have very strong mirror neurons.
Yep.
I'm Caroline, by the way. It worked.
Of course it worked. I once typed that word and it happened. Again, at least it's not as bad as when Emma yawns and sets me off.
Yeah. Fun fact, because we were long distance for a while, obviously, given his accent,
Mm-hmm.
my dog learned to yawn at the screen because it would get him to start yawning, which would get me to start laughing.
Yep, which got her pets.
Yep. So she did it constantly. It was great.
Yeah. Oh, dear, oh dear, oh dear. So, and I've already forgotten the rest of the intro. And we go to a ridiculous amount of cons every year.
I would say we go to too few.
Cool.
Now, this, in a technical sense, is not a con.
No, but it is an event, and again,
And it's an event we quite like, so if we can give it a little publicity, I think
we'd like
we're
to,
happy
yeah.
to.
So where were we this week, honey? As
Yeah.
if people can't read the title of the episode.
The London Lions Club Eyeball.
Yes. And yes, it's eyeball. It's two separate words. It's a ball, but also eyeball. It's a pun.
It makes sense with their organization.
Yes.
So Lions clubs, there are multiple iterations of. I'm not a member of a Lions club. I just know, having gone to this event for 3 years, this Lions club was founded in 1946. I know, because they talked about that at the things. I figured I would write it down and remember when they were founded. See, I do work for this podcast. So, what Lions clubs are local charity organizations. They're probably similar to several others that try to put money back into local communities as opposed to more global issues, so they tend to focus on more local stuff.
Again, small things, helping out the guy next door, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So they are an international organization that I think works by just having a bunch of chapters in different communities. There's a lot of organizations like that. I'm obviously not a member, so I'm a bit unclear on like the national versus local and the connections between the two. But This is a local chapter that tries to keep money in the local community of London, Ohio, which is, if you're not familiar, kind of to the south-ish of Columbus.
It's more east.
Okay, east-ish of Columbus.
No, wait, west. Way to the east of Columbus.
Okay, west-ish of Columbus.
Yeah, it's on the wrong side of Columbus.
I'm not retaking that.
Nope, absolutely not. We don't do retakes on this podcast.
So they do a lot of stuff for their local communities. They had a couple of cute posters and things up about like helping people who were just in need with stuff like cancer or just having injuries and things like that, and they can't afford stuff, and it's just very much local community fundraising for situations where people need it, which is great to see.
Yep, like they helped fit a screen door on somebody's house apparently.
Yep.
Because they needed a new screen door.
Yeah, a lot of, I think, local community improvement projects.
Yep.
I think they managed to get a car for somebody who really needed a car a couple of years ago. They talked about that a little bit. And the reason it's called an eyeball is because a long-running project that this community has is getting eyeglasses for people who need eyeglasses, particularly kids who need eyeglasses, which is a very kind of niche need that doesn't come up a lot, and not a lot of charities deal with that particular need. So it's nice to have a local community who needs that, because kids need eyeglasses, and it's kind of hard to get that for most charities.
Yeah,
just because it's too specific.
As somebody with really terrible vision, like, I appreciate that.
Yeah, it can be particularly expensive, particularly if you have a not just normal nearsighted or farsightedness, need special lenses. Those cost a lot.
Yeah,
and there's not a lot of organizations that cover them.
No, there aren't. So it's a good cause, and we found this event basically by accident 2 years ago.
Yeah, this wasn't me like trying to support this cause. I will admit, it was me looking for events. So one of the things I do when I look for events on things like Eventbrite is just type in the word ball to see what types of like formal balls that are an excuse to wear elaborate dresses pop up. And this one popped up, and it popped up a week before we got married, 2 years ago.
Yeah, and we needed something that year to just like occupy us the weekend before.
Yep.
That wasn't too heavy, but also like would be fun and weird and different and interesting. It was like, yeah, that sounds kind of fun.
And a lot of times when you go to a local community event, you don't know like how welcoming the community is going to be to like random ass strangers showing up.
Yep. Yeah,
this community is very welcoming.
This community is. There are some where like you'll get funny looks for just kind of turning up, even though they advertise it publicly.
And even if it's a charity event, weirdly enough,
Yeah,
this community's not like that at all, though.
not at all. These are very, very nice, very friendly people who seem genuinely appreciative of the fact we keep making the drive every year.
It is an hour and a half for us.
Yeah.
But it is very much worth it. I've had fun every single year we've gone. And we were commenting today that we stayed there about 3 hours.
Did not feel like 3 hours.
It did not feel like 3 hours, and it pretty much never does. It feels, time flies. It's a very well-structured event. They've got a lot of stuff going on, and it's a very good, I would say, value event. It is a charity event, obviously, so the money you're paying is going back to charity.
Yep.
But it is something for which you get food.
Yep.
And tickets to kind of all with live music. Well, not live in the sense that bands are playing, but there's a DJ.
There's a DJ
where you can request songs.
Yep.
And be in costume and all of that. I think it's about $35 per couple or less than that. So it's very, very reasonably priced.
It is. And again, it is a charity event. There are ways to spend more money that will go back to the charity, and we'll talk about those as we get to them. But again, in terms of sheer value for money, it's good. I think we technically made money tonight.
Yeah, in a technical sense, our buy a bone things gave us more cash than I think we wound up spending total.
Yeah, which again, we'll talk about that.
Yes. And they are also very understanding, because I think they've commented a bunch about wanting to get young people involved. I think they're understanding of the fact that young people can't spend as much money as somebody who's a bit more established, and we've never felt pressured to donate any more than we donate. So.
Yeah.
So we should probably talk about our history with the event a little bit. So showed up randomly 2 years ago. It was a week before our wedding, so they actually gave one of the auction prizes that didn't sell just to us for free, which is very sweet of them.
It was.
And I think we've just kind of adored them ever since.
Yeah. Again, they're just really wholesome. Somebody requested a song specifically for us.
Yeah.
And weirdly we bumped into somebody else who's a British guy married to an American woman.
Mm-hmm.
They were 6 months to a year ahead of us in the process and all that. And it was just one of those weird coincidences.
Yeah, so it's very sweet, very wholesome event. And we highly recommend it. They were commenting they didn't get the turnout that they wanted this year, but I hope it continues because I think it's a really special event.
So do I. And again, I think the reason that their turnout was a bit lower this year is I suspect there's a couple of things. One, you were commenting that it was actually harder to get tickets this year.
Yeah, so generally I look on Eventbrite. I assume if you do have an account with Eventbrite, they probably take an amount of the tickets you purchase. So I can understand not wanting to use Eventbrite, particularly if you're a charity event, because I assume it takes a cut of the ticket sales, and that's lame if you're giving all your money to charity.
Yeah.
The flip, I guess, kind of side of that, though, is that it makes the events harder to search. And basically, the only stuff I could find if I wasn't looking on the Lions Club Facebook page, which I only know to look at now because I saw the event on Eventbrite earlier. It's not a very easy place to access. Was a news article about it where they were advertising it.
Yep.
When I clicked on that link, it did take me to the Lions Club website, but at that time there was no way to purchase tickets from the website, and the only way you could do it with this kind of tiny QR code that appeared on the computer.
Yeah.
And it was a bit difficult to get to.
Yes, I remember you basically sent me the picture. I then put it up on my laptop, scanned it with my phone, and then pinged you back the link that it sent.
Yeah. And that link did work, but it took several steps to get there, and it wasn't intuitive. And the link that the newspaper article that wrote about them just directed to their page, and then I couldn't find a place on their page to buy tickets that wasn't going through that QR code. So it was a little bit difficult to get to.
Yeah.
And that might have I obviously really wanted to go to this event because I love it, but if you were just kind of idly looking, you might kind of give up through the several stages that the process that took.
Yeah.
I mean, I get not using Eventbrite because Eventbrite, I assume, takes a cut of the ticket cost, and that's pretty lame.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I do feel like you need to have it a little bit more front and center on your website and stuff like that.
And the other reason that I think they might have slightly lower numbers this year is that we are closer to Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
So, as we mentioned, the first year we went, it was actually before our wedding.
Yeah, so it
which would have made it the first weekend of October.
The first weekend of October or the last weekend of September.
Yeah.
Around then, the 30th, the 1st.
Yeah. You checked when it was last year, and it was
the 19th.
Yeah. of October. Whereas this time it's the 25th of October, so
Yeah.
this is the last weekend for Halloween. Halloween's next Friday.
It's next Friday, and I suspect there'll be some festivities that carry on to Saturday as well. If you have Halloween on Friday, you can just like celebrate all weekend. But this would have been a very big weekend for Halloween activities, and this was pretty evident since we have to drive through Columbus to get to London, Ohio.
And getting through Columbus today was a mess. There was some kind of combination of roadworks, an accident, and just a whole bucket load of cars.
Keep in mind, it's Saturday. It's pretty unusual for it to have that level of traffic on a Saturday, and I suspect part of what that is so many people are doing Halloween events this weekend.
Yeah.
Which means it's competing with a lot of other stuff.
Yeah. So it's again, I think I don't even want to say they got unlucky. I think it's just based on the conversation we had with somebody there. I think they try to avoid weekends when Ohio State are doing things.
Yeah, they mentioned that because I think they don't want to detract from football games and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I don't know how much of a draw that is for people, so I can't really comment on that. But I do think another thing is just maybe spacing it a little bit closer to have it be an earlier Halloween event. Because this weekend you're going to be dealing with a lot of competition from other very similar events, whereas if you do it a bit earlier, you're probably going to get less competition.
Yeah.
It's also worth noting this is an adult-only event. Like, no one checked IDs or anything, but it is adults only.
Yeah.
It does kind of turn off the family crowd, but I do also kind of like that it's an adult event. So.
And again, when we say adult event, we just mean like they have a bar, quote unquote, that does have beer.
Yeah. It also just means that they say that the minimum age is 18 on the website. Yeah. So and they don't check IDs to like verify that, but I also didn't see anyone who looked remotely questionable, so they don't really need to.
No, like I suspect if they thought anybody was particularly borderline, they might ask, but I don't think they needed to. Like you and I were probably the most borderline people there, and again, we are comfortably above the point at which we can get into an 18-plus event.
Yeah. I know the goal of this event, because they've commented on us a few times, is to get more young people involved with the Lions Club, which it did succeed in doing the last 2 years. I just think that the factors kind of combined this year to have it be less than that.
Yeah.
I'm just really hoping they can hold on to the fact that the year before it actually did achieve what it was trying to achieve. Yeah. I do think it could achieve that again if it has moved around a couple factors.
Yeah. Like, again, it's a really, really good event. We love it to bits. It's just, again, I think combination of less online visibility and just not quite the right weekend for it.
And it wasn't bad, I want to emphasize this time.
No,
it was less crowded, but it was
still well run. It was still fun. We enjoyed ourselves greatly.
Yeah.
Again, it didn't have the turnout that I think they were hoping for. And again, that's going to happen sometimes.
Yeah. But I'm hoping they can kind of weather through this and then do a better job next year.
Yeah.
And I've already thought of like ways or places you could actually advertise. As somebody who does a lot of cons and conventions, I know places that people typically tend to look, and a couple like message boards or servers you could put stuff on to maybe make the event look a little bit more appealing, or just get out to different groups who are not just part of London, Ohio, but more broadly too.
Yep.
Because I will say that like fantasy balls and stuff like that, people do gangbusters with those events right now. And this is a local one that's a charity that's reasonably priced and still going to give you a lot of what you could get from like a fantasy ball type setting.
Yep. Because as we were saying last week, like a lot of these fantasy balls will charge you like $100, $150 a ticket, and you don't actually get that much for the money.
No, this is the same and still gives you food.
Yep.
Which we'll talk about.
So yeah. So specifically this year, it was hosted in sort of the same place as last year.
So it has been hosted in 3 different locations. One pretty radically different. It was just a straight up different building.
Yep.
I don't remember what building it was in, and I don't understand the geography of London, Ohio well enough to give you a guess.
Yep.
They did have the fancy ice cream that year, though.
Yeah, they did. Well, they did food trucks that year.
Yeah.
The first year. Whereas years 2 and 3 were both held on the Marietta Fairgrounds.
You mean the London Fairgrounds?
No. Did I say Marietta?
You said Marietta. Is it Marietta?
It's something like that.
I'll look it up. You continue talking.
You check what you sent me on Discord. But
Madison Fairgrounds.
Madison Fairgrounds, thank you. But yeah, so the Madison Fairgrounds, again, in London, Ohio. And it was in a slightly different building this year, like still on the Madison Fairgrounds, just a different building on those fairgrounds, which did confuse us a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Which again, we'll talk about when we get to like chronological on this one. But no, like you can tell it's like a passion project of a small group, which is kind of a wonderful thing.
Yeah.
So, like the costuming for this event is always great.
Yeah, everyone dresses up. It's always what I like, which is a combination of like creative, very original concepts most of the time, and people like make it, and it's homemade in the best possible way, and it's so much fun. It's worth going to see the costumes and the people.
Yep,
it's a blast.
It is. And again, like, is it something that's going to take your entire day? No, it runs 7 till 11. It's interesting. The Facebook page says 7 till 10. When we got here, it said 7 till 11.
They needed it to go to 11. They pack a lot into those hours.
They do. And again, I am not criticizing them. Bumping it so that it was ready till 11 was the right call. Mm-hmm. So we tapped out at what, about 10:30?
About 10:30. A lot of people, I think, were leaving about then. Yep. So I think the last hour is like kind of like at a wedding and stuff like that, where it's kind of buffer for people to kind of casually leave as opposed to everyone just being kicked out suddenly.
Yeah, which I think is a good call.
Yeah.
Same thing happened at our wedding, and it was nice. Where over the course of the last 30 minutes out, or 30 minutes to an hour, people were basically, they were heading out, but they had the opportunity to come up to us, say goodbye, all of that jazz, and this has a similar kind of vibe to it in that regard. We talked to a lot of people today who were just happy that we've come back year after year.
They really are a great group of people.
They are.
And it's nice to see people who care about their local community in a way where they're very passionate. So,
again, if we were nearer, we might come to more of their events. It's just, again, we're an hour and a half drive away.
Yeah. Sorry.
What?
Dead air space.
You're fine.
Anyway, you want to get into chronological order?
I think so. So, actually, we'll talk costumes first.
Okay.
So, we had planned a slightly different costume for this event.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of knew what you were going to be wearing. We weren't entirely sure what I was going to wear.
Yeah, so I wanted to wear my designer green dress that's green fabric, which I've used to be a druid before, Mother Nature, or something like that. I really wanted to do just Mother Nature and Father Time. It's been in my costume backlog for forever, and I feel like this is Mother Nature-y because it's just effectively a green kind of druidy dress that's, of course, a ball gown.
Yep.
It's one of a kind type of piece. I adore it, and it has a train, which means I like wearing it at smaller events where I can just wear the train and not have to worry about people stepping on it.
Yep. As opposed to that time you wore it at Colossal Con,
yeah.
And I spent all day, picking up the train anytime we had to go through a corridor. But so we kind of knew that's what you were going to do. So earlier in the week, we were like, okay, well we've probably got time to put together a Father Time costume for me. So
no pun intended. Turns out we did not have time.
No, we did not. So quick Amazon order. Stuff is due for delivery Saturday morning. Okay, cutting it a bit close, but that'll be fine.
It's been delayed till Wednesday.
Yep. Oh, is it Wednesday now?
Yeah, they pushed one of it back.
It was Monday last.
Well, part of it's supposed to arrive Tuesday and part of it's supposed to arrive Wednesday.
Wow.
Because, I ordered it at the same time, so I don't even know how that happened. It's supposed to all be in one box, but whatever.
Again, with Amazon, who the heck knows? But yeah, so that was annoying. So that basically left us kind of in a position this morning where we're like, okay, time to rejigger.
Yep. So I think we kind of threw together elements of the Princess Luna costume.
Mm-hmm.
With
it's the cloak from
cloak and your Stars shirt, which you wear all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And we put on a white wig on you, which you were actually very good about tonight, not itching. So
again, I think it helped that I wasn't wearing it for anywhere near as long. It was only a few hours.
And we did, just for the fun of it, make an hourglass.
Yep.
By duct taping 2 bottles together.
Yep.
Putting some gems in them. It's very homemade looking, but I kind of have fun just for it.
Yeah. Again, I'm going to have to take it apart because I need to get the gems back out of it.
And it was leaking a bit by the end of the night, but not enough to cause problems or anything.
Because we did also put water in it.
Yeah.
And for the record, when we say gems, basically I bought some of those like resin printed, quote unquote, gemstones, which I got specifically for like board gaming conventions when I need to have like a thing I can give to the players that represents a resource they can spend, so like inspiration in D&D or like anything like that. Because I've seen people use those at cons before, and I think it's fun. I think it works quite well. It's thematic, so so we happen to have those, and it made a certain amount of sense to use those. It was either that or fill it with sugar.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if we've got enough sugar in the cupboard. I can't remember how much.
Plus, it's just wasting a lot of sugar.
Yeah, this is true.
Like the sugar, we probably can't use again after that. The
gems
gem
can.
things, yeah, we can just wash them off. It'll be fine. But, as a last minute prop, I think it works fine.
Yeah. Again, I think the idea is solid. We just need to smaller gems so that they fall through more easily, because those ones are a little too big, so they get stuck. And a slightly better sealant method, and it's a pretty solid thing.
Yeah.
So yes, and the other thing I did was, for the first time in quite a while, actually, I put my white contacts in tonight.
Yeah, I kind of pressured you to do that. I think mostly because I've just missed you wearing them. It's been so long since you've worn them.
Yeah, I'm not even sure why.
I mean, I thought that they were irritating your eyes for a bit there, and you thought they might be damaged.
So they got dried out at one point, but that's because I hadn't worn them for a while, which meant that the case because again, the case I keep them in isn't completely airtight. So given enough time, the saline will evaporate, and that's basically what had happened. But I managed to recover them by just refilling it with more contact lens fluid and giving them enough time to moisten up again, and they're fine. They've not been bothering me at all tonight.
Nice.
But yeah, so for whatever reason, I just haven't worn them for a bit.
So yeah, we got into the car. It's about an hour and a half drive.
Yeah.
There's some mildly dodgy traffic, as I think we mentioned. A couple car crashes. It was just very crowded for a Saturday. It still is, honestly. The roads do seem more crowded than they otherwise would be tonight.
I think part of it is just parts of I-70 are closed for some reason. So we had to take a slightly different route.
So yeah, we had to go through Columbus. We did get to see random people in costumes walking around Columbus. That was cool.
Yep. Yeah, because in addition to part of I-70 being closed, there was a crash on I-71. Which basically meant that the road was starting to gum up, and we managed to get off at an exit pretty fast. And then at that point, it was a matter of just ignoring the sat-nav and pointing us in roughly the right direction through Columbus streets until the sat-nav realized I was not going to turn back and go on the highway. So yeah, so added 5 minutes to our journey, which honestly could have been worse.
Yeah, it was a little bit. I will say that I'm getting a little more car sick than I normally do. I think it's just, I don't know, time of night, stuff like that. We don't normally drive back this late.
Yeah.
Anyway, we should get to the actual
yes.
event.
So once we got there, because we didn't double check the exact building it was in, we knew it was on the same fairground as last year. We assumed it was going to be in the same building as last year.
We saw a sign for it posted outside.
Yeah. Yeah, there was a sign at the main entrance basically saying, London Lions Eyeball this way. So we're like, okay, cool, we're in the right place. So we parked up and we got out, and I put my wig on, I put my cloak on, all that jazz. And then we kind of went over to the space and we're like, oh, that's weird. It doesn't seem to be properly set up. In fact, there's a whole bunch of cowboys or people dressed as cowboys in there, and they seem to be unsetting up.
Yeah, it was very confusing. We kept popping through the window, and then we were like, this doesn't seem right. That there's just only cowboys and no other costumes.
Yep.
There's no DJ, and they're unsetting up.
Yep. But then one of the people came out and was just heading back to his car and politely chatting with us and was asking. I think he said, had we been to a Halloween party?
Yeah, I think he thought we were had been at a Halloween party and like were there to pick somebody up or something.
Yeah.
He was as confused as we were.
Yeah,
I think.
And then I mentioned the eyeball, and we were like, "Oh, right, yeah, I think it's over in that building." And we were like, "Okay, that makes sense." And we double checked, and it did actually say it was in the whatever specific building.
Yeah. And keep in mind, most people who go to this event are a lot more local than we are.
Yep.
Who presumably know the difference between these two buildings in a way that we don't.
Yeah. So yeah, like again, so we hopped back in the car, drove for like a minute.
There was another sign over there that we had not noticed.
Yep. That said eyeball this way. Okay, right, yep, fine. Drove past it. It was like, yep, that's it. Because like I'd had a DJ set up and all of the other jazz.
It didn't have great parking.
Yes. So we did kind of park slightly around the corner on some grass. Basically fine. Like I've parked in worse places.
Mm-hmm.
That Macedonian festival springs to mind.
That Macedonian festival was just crowded. This just didn't have kind of parking in front of the building.
Yeah.
That said, there was parking in like the next slot over, and it wasn't that far of a walk.
Yeah, like if we'd realized how close the buildings were, I might have suggested just walking. I'm not going to lie. But again, like not a major problem. Like mild confusion, but that was confusion on our part rather than on anybody else's.
Yeah, I will say the building that in this time I think was slightly smaller.
Maybe? I don't know.
So this is again a fairground building, so there was like a garage type door at the back that opened up, and then they had a booth where they just like checked to make sure that you had tickets.
Yep.
Gave us little wristbands.
Yep.
It's cute.
Which is cute. Again, perfectly fine, pretty standard, nothing too fancy.
And then it's just basically one room that is a series of round tables. There's a dance floor on one side.
Yep.
They have a photo booth set up, which is free and takes pretty good photos most year.
Yep.
I don't think they have a different group running it this year than they had previous years.
I think so. I remember in previous years them just having somebody going around with a camera.
Yeah. Whereas this year they seem to have like an actual like photo group that was there. And it was free. They took tips if you wanted to, but you didn't have to tip if you didn't want to or couldn't afford to.
Yep.
And they had food against one wall, which was free. Some pizza, some cookies, and some chips and stuff like that.
Yep.
They had a bar that had soda that you could get for free from a bartender, which is cute.
Yep.
And alcohol that was, I think, $3 for like a beer.
$3 a beer.
So it was probably not great beer, but $3 a beer at an event generally is about as good as you're going to get for beer.
Yeah, that's very cheap for beer.
That is very cheap for beer.
And as I say, all the non-alcoholic beverages were completely free.
Yes.
Again, nothing fancy, just cans of Coke, cans of Pepsi, all of that jazz. But like sometimes that's all you need.
Yeah. And tables had tablecloths on them and cute little centerpieces and a couple toys you could play with.
Yep.
You play with a lot.
Yeah.
Little spiders and things like that, and they had candy on them.
Yeah. Like again, it's an event that you can tell like a lot of love and thought and care went into it. The other thing along the back wall was they had a silent auction, and they had what, like 20-ish?
Yeah, well, so they are very good at getting
items?
Donations from the local community.
Yeah.
There's like 25-ish items, all of which are baskets that have been donated by local organizations, including the Columbus Blue Jackets.
And Ohio State University.
Yeah.
And again, they clearly got some connection. So some of those baskets, definitely sold for less than what they were worth. But hey, that's sometimes what happens at charity events. So yeah, this was standard silent auction rules, which is basically there's a piece of paper with each item. You write your name, you write what you're prepared to bid. The next person comes along, looks and goes, I'm willing to bid more than that. You write your name, you write your bid, and it's higher.
And they had plush, we would have been in trouble.
Yeah, they did not have any plush though. All's the pity.
Yes. So they also, at the other side of the wall, had some like skeleton decorations that looked really cool. And next to that was their buy a bone like raffle weird thing. It's called just buy a bone.
Yeah. And the rules of this are pretty simple. You pay $10. You get a randomly drawn item, which again are all donated by local businesses.
Yeah. And
you find out what you won.
Yeah.
And they basically say everything in there has a value of at least $10.
You pay $10. Most stuff has values of more than $10.
Yeah.
So it's generally a pretty good deal, and it's fun.
Yeah. So when I said we kind of technically sort of made a profit on this event, this is what I'm referring to. We bought a bone each. Mine was a $20 gift voucher for a pizza place, which I think is the same pizza place that provided their pizza for the event.
Yeah.
And based on what they said, I think they provided that free.
Nice.
And it was decent pizza. Like, not the best I've ever had, but it was solid. It was good. Sometimes that's all you need. And again, to be fair, it was also like sitting out and open, so it had cooled off a bit by the time I got to it.
Yeah. And mine was for a cafe that we actually wound up going to because it was like the random gift that we won 2 years ago at the same event. So, you liked that cafe.
Yeah, it was decent.
It's nowhere near us. It's a $35 gift card, so we'll definitely go at some point.
So yeah, so we paid $20, that's going to the charity, and then we got like $55 in gift vouchers or gift cards.
And yeah, to be fair, these probably wouldn't be places we would otherwise go, but like us going there will save us money because we won't eat other places.
Yep. So yeah, like again, even if you're not that local, it's an event worth going to.
It definitely is. Like the prizes are really great. There's a lot of great community and camaraderie there, and it's just a fun dance atmosphere. And you have a DJ who will play literally any song you ask him to play.
As he said, if he doesn't have it, Amazon probably does.
I thought about getting him to play Space Unicorn.
No Space Unicorn. No, but we did get him to play our song, so.
We did. You said you weren't going to yawn.
I lied.
So yeah. And we got him, the person who, and we try not to say names on this podcast too much, just because we want to respect people's privacy. But the person who checked us in, who we do kind of know, was dressed as a snail.
Yep. With
an LED
really cool
backpack.
light.
We found out why that was later that night.
Yeah. Turns out there's a song called Disco Snail that they'd choreographed a dance to.
Disco Snail is my new favorite song.
Of course it is.
We checked out some of the auction items in the back. Nothing was really stuff that appealed to us terribly much.
Nope. But again, by the end of the evening, everything had a bid on it. So.
Good. And then I think we sat down. We got there around the time where they made their first announcement about stuff.
Yeah, it was normally a 7 o'clock start. Between the the slight delays of traffic and the mild, and the delay caused by the confusion of going to slightly the wrong building, it was probably 25 past by the time we got there.
Yeah, and so at about 7:30, they made announcements about just how stuff was going to work that year and various things. So they did change some stuff up this year.
Yep.
The Buy a Bone auction the previous year was swarmed and sold out pretty much instantly. So this year they decided to stagger it, so they would put prizes in at different times. If you arrived late, you could still get a prize, which is pretty cool.
That was a solid choice. I like that as a decision.
Yeah.
So they were doing it at effectively 7:30, 8:30, and 9:30.
Yeah. So that way, and even if you got there late, you could get something, which is pretty cool. So
yeah,
I was happy with the prices. So.
Oh yeah, so was I. It's interesting that they clearly had something, because what she said to us was if we got was it choose from the crypt?
Yeah, I think it was choose from the crypt, come back and see her. I don't know what that meant because we didn't get that.
I'm assuming that means there was some prize box or something.
Yeah, maybe some people donated actual physical prizes, so they let people choose from the crypt or something like that.
Yep.
So
who knows?
I hope there wasn't plush in the crypt. I don't think I have enough plush. He's rolling his eyes at me and also yawning again, even though I told you to stop.
Again, it's not something I can control. But yeah.
Yeah, we did that. We did the Buy a Bone auction.
Yep.
And I think you got some food.
Yep. And again, the pizza was a little cold, but other than that, pretty good. And again, this is the kind of event where I'm not going to judge them for the pizza being a little cold, because they got the pizza, they put it out, there wasn't really much more they could do.
Yep. And it was free. It was included in your cost of ticket. Yeah. Because people donate the pizza. So.
And again, they are very good at getting donations to their local community, and I really respect them for that.
Yeah, the DJ played some Halloween classics, so Monster Mash, Thriller, stuff like that, along with a bunch of 70s songs.
Yep, and some 80s songs.
Yep.
I think that DJ had a fondness for disco.
Yeah. But there were some people dressed in disco costumes.
Yeah. Those pants were spectacular.
Yeah.
They were very shiny.
Yeah, we sat down and got to people watch for quite a bit, which was very much fun. We saw a bunch of different costumes. We saw the Emu, I think from State Farm or whatever it is.
Liberty Mutual.
Yeah, whichever one it is.
Yep.
Somebody was dressed as those insurance mascots. Somebody was dressed as a snail. We had somebody dressed as the Operation Game and the Surgeon, which was great.
That was great. There was a Jack Skellington and Sally from Nightmare Before Christmas. Like, the thing I like about this event is you do just get some fun costumes.
Yeah, it's very great.
The two bartenders were the Blues Brothers.
Yep.
A lot of very good couples costumes this year, I've got to say.
Yeah, I think they were last year too, but even more so this year.
Yeah.
And yeah, some people recognized us instantly and came up and said hi to us a few times just to verify with a couple of people coming. No one remembers our names, which was great.
That's fair.
Yep.
Again, we see them once a year.
Yep.
I understand why they don't remember our names.
I know, and I'm not calling them out at all. Like, if anything, I like the mysteriousness of it generally.
You are the person who keeps going to furry cons and changing what, name you use.
Well, yeah, I mean, even in this podcast, I don't say my name sometimes. It's great.
Yeah.
You don't need to know my name to know me. That's a metaphor. No, it's not.
No, it's not. But yeah. So the other thing we did was the costume contest. So in previous years, they've done it with the applausometer. Mm-hmm. Basically, if you want to enter, you just go up, they applaud. This year, they did it a little differently. Do you want to talk a little bit about how it was?
Let's talk about a couple of the other things first, because the first thing we did that is related to that is we got our photo taken, which we did before we even entered the cosplay contest.
Yeah,
because
this is true.
You needed photos to enter the cosplay contest, which we'll explain in a second, but we normally get our photo taken at this event just because having free photos is actually quite nice. As somebody who goes to a lot of cons, photo ops that aren't crowded are rare.
Yeah. So
we pretty much always get our picture taken at this event. Plus, we're bad at getting our picture taken, so I try to make us every time.
We suck at it.
We suck at it. So this had a little backdrop, which I think they had last year, although instead of having just a person taking photos, they had a machine do it that was kind of an impromptu kind of it was as if you were in a photo booth, but you weren't actually. Does that make sense?
Yeah, we've seen these machines a few times at conventions now.
Mm-hmm.
Again, it's basically just a screen, a camera. You push the button, it takes 3 pictures,
and then it prints them out right there.
Yeah.
So, which it did. These were smaller size, but it was okay. I do think I prefer an actual person, but it's free. I'm not going to complain.
Yeah, that's pretty much where I am. And again, mostly it's just a case of an actual person will suggest poses for you.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas here, the people running it were basically just printing it and pushing the button to set it off. And again, you and I never know what the hell to do with our faces when we take photos.
No, and it's actually hard in that circumstance because you can see yourself on the screen as the photo's being taken, which for some people makes it easier. I think for us it just makes it harder because it makes us more self-conscious.
Yeah.
So they are not my favorite photos, but we looked fine.
Yeah.
And I will say the photo we got taken the first year, the week before we got married, is one of my favorite photos of all time. So of the two of us, that was just a candid shot that somebody took.
Yeah.
But I love that photo.
That's fine.
You do too.
Oh yeah. And again, sometimes candid shots are the ones that I think I don't know. I don't know how to pose for photos. So when I have a photo taken of me where I didn't know it was being taken, those are the ones that I tend to like more. Because I actually look natural in them. I don't freeze up and look weird. Does that make sense?
Sort of. So yeah, we got our photo taken there.
Yep.
And then it was printed off, which took 2 seconds. And we waited till it was a little less crowded to do that. So I think we did that around 8 after most of the other groups had gone.
Sounds about right. And at that point, we entered the cosplay contest, or the costume contest.
Costume contest. This is not cosplay. Yeah. The difference is minimal to me, but
Yeah, the difference is vague, but So the rules for this were pretty simple.
I probably shouldn't start my cosplay rant.
Which one?
The one where it's called cosplay, so I assume the play element of it was actually a big deal, but apparently cosplay just means being in a costume, not improvising your character, which is lame to me.
Fair. But yeah, so relatively straightforward rules. It was a case of they had 5 categories, which were scariest costume, funniest costume, best couple, what was
most creative,
most creative, thank you, and then
best
overall, best overall.
And you could choose which one you wanted to enter. You could enter all 5 if you wanted to.
Yep. And the way you did that was you just put your photo into the jar for each one. And then later in the evening, they basically said, okay, entries have closed. At this point, they've set it up so that all the photos are out and each photo has a number with it. And you just vote in a jar per category using tickets that they gave you for whichever particular one you thought should win.
Previous years, they did just the standard like applausometer type thing that a lot of cons do, or like a lot of, like, I would say smaller events like this do for their costume competitions. Whereas rather than having like somebody judge, you just have the crowd vote, which is absolutely fine and fun.
Yep.
It does kind of mean that, like, if people are allowed, they can kind of rig the vote in their friends or somebody's favor, though. And I think they might have been trying to do something a bit different with it this year.
Yep.
It also makes, I kind of like the activity of just voting. Like, it makes it a little bit more fun for everyone rather than kind of screaming, because you can, like, look and think about the costumes, which I enjoyed, I think.
Yeah. My only real criticism of doing it this way... Criticism, that's not a word. Criticism of that is just... they did ask people to, like, stand up if they'd entered themselves into a particular category. It would have been nice to actually, like, call them out to the front and maybe have them say a tiny bit about their costume, something like that.
Yeah, just because the photos are kind of tiny, so it was hard to see a lot of the time. The room was small and there weren't that many people in it, so...
Yeah, like, I could tell who all the photos were.
Yeah, because we had seen people walking around in all the costumes. But it would be nice to have people, like, tell a little bit about their costumes and what they're supposed to be also, because sometimes that's not intuitive, so...
You're like us?
Yeah.
Yep. Like, I'm fairly confident nobody knew what we were tonight.
Yeah. But that's fine.
So, yeah, so they, they did that, they announced it, and we...
Do you want to, like, talk about the stuff that happened before then?
Yeah, probably. So basically we put our name, or we put our photos in, and then we went kind of back to our table, did a bit more people watching, had a couple of nice conversations with people who were, like, weirdly happy to see us.
Yeah, and then we got to learn more about, like, the event and their kind of, I think, slight frustration with the lack of turnout this year.
Yeah.
I'm hoping they stick with it, which I think I've said before, like 6 times, whatever. We danced for a bit.
Yep.
You requested Shut Up and Dance.
It's a good dance song.
And one that we've played before. We also danced to Aerosmith's Don't Want to Miss a Thing, because a lot of people at this event are like 20 years older than we are, and that song was popular when they got married. So...
Yeah. Again, I'm nostalgic for that song because we played that at my 6th form Leavers Ball, which, it's the British equivalent of a senior prom. Because, again, at that event, everybody was over the age of 18, which meant in the UK, we were all drunk, including the teachers.
Yep.
So, a bunch of drunk teachers and 18-year-olds, arm in arm with each other, in a big circle on the dance floor, swaying along to Don't Want to Miss a Thing. Like, it's a really fond memory I have.
They did comment that they put some, like, music in to appeal to, like, younger people, like Chappelle Roan and stuff like that, which was intermixed with the disco and Halloween songs, which is nice.
Yep.
And generally, there wasn't as much dancing, I would say, this year as there was in previous years.
I think you're probably right, yeah. Which, again, probably just goes hand in hand with a slightly lower turnout numbers.
Yeah. Not that people weren't enjoying the music. They definitely were.
Oh, yeah. And there are a couple of songs that definitely got people up and dancing.
Are you doing okay?
Yes.
Okay, you're not too tired?
I'm fine.
Okay.
Again, I have a slightly itchy eye.
We should have just requested the cha-cha slide. That gets everyone on the floor every time.
Yeah, this is true. One honk this time.
We got to watch one of the hosts do their snail dance, which was awesome.
That was great. You're going to make us listen to Disco Snail again.
I'm definitely making us listen to Disco Snail again. I want to make a snail costume.
But yeah. So, that was fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And again, I'll say this for the guy behind the bar. Like, he was. Here's the thing: I asked for a Coke. He got a can of Coke out of what I'm assuming was an ice box. I couldn't see it because it was off to the side, but like instead of just handing it to me, he wiped it down so it didn't like get my hand wet. And, like he didn't need to do that, but I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Like I would have been perfectly happy if he just handed it to me, but like they went the extra mile. I'm like, that's the thing about this event. Like that's a relatively small thing.
Yeah.
But that interaction almost sums up this event on the whole. Like there's a lot of stuff they could put less effort into than they do.
Well, like at one point, I think we were talking to somebody, and I think they legitimately offered to buy us a drink. Drinks here aren't expensive, but that was really sweet of them to like offer to do.
Yeah. And again, I don't drink beer, and you don't drink beer, but again, they're just a nice bunch of people.
Yeah. I know it seems like not a lot went on, but honestly, just between the bone auction and like the silent auction and the cosplay contest or the costume competition and the dancing and the recording of songs and just listening to people talk and like speech about the eyeball and stuff like that, it actually does go quite quickly.
Yeah.
And it is, compared to a lot of other dances like this, there is enough stuff on to keep me entertained for about 3 hours, which is rare at a lot of dance events. Like if you compare this to the like Phoenix Ball we went to last weekend, I was getting kind of bored at the hour mark, whereas here I was not bored the entire evening.
Yeah. Which again, like partly it comes down to the people. Like there was nothing wrong with the crowd at the Phoenix Ball. I want to specify that.
Yeah.
But the group at the Eyeball is just very aggressively friendly. Like they at this point they recognize us and they like wanted to say hi and like thank you for coming out again.
Yeah.
Which again, I like and I appreciate.
I know, it's very wholesome. They also had cookies.
Yeah, sorry I didn't get you a cookie.
It's fine, I didn't need a cookie. In case this is your first time listening to this podcast, I have like food stomach problems, which makes it hard for me to eat, and alcohol kills me faster than it kills most people, so my body's just kind of on stasis in most of these events.
Yeah.
Which is why he does all the food reviews.
Yeah. Yeah, you basically So yeah, like again, generally speaking, we've kind of worked out a vibe that works for us in that regard. And again, like I knew that there wasn't going to be a massive amount of food at this, so I did deliberately have lunch.
Yeah, they do have. I think they had about like 4 pizzas and stuff like that, so there is enough, but you don't want to like overtake the pizza because you're a pretty big dude. In terms of height, you can eat easily an entire pizza by yourself.
Yes, I can eat a lot of food.
And this is not the type of event where you should eat an entire pizza by yourself.
No, I basically got a slice of each variety at a time. Admittedly, this place does the square cut pizza thing, which is just
that's Ohio staple, honey.
It's so wrong.
It's how they cut pizza in Ohio and also Michigan. Because it's grandma style.
Okay. We're going to have to dissect that later.
I'm going to just cut a circle out of the center of a pizza.
Why?
To torture you.
Would you at least do it at the exact center?
No.
Damn it.
I was going to initially, then you suggested I shouldn't.
Oh dear. But yeah. So people watched a bit more, and then they came out to announce the winners of the costume contest. Some very deserving winners. There was only one entry for the scary costume, but it was easily the scariest costume there.
That costume was amazing in terms of its makeup. I don't even know how to describe what that was, but it was just like elf ears and.
It was a pigman costume.
Yeah, the makeup and cosmetics on it were fantastic. It worked incredibly well. It was just so well done.
Yep.
Funniest went to the emu thingy.
Yep.
It was very funny.
Again, if you've seen the adverts for Liberty Mutual, it's they were doing Lemu the emu, and I think it's Doug is the character name. Yeah, what'd you get? Like that was a good couple's costume. I will give them props for that.
I think the Operation couple won Best Couples Costume.
They won Most Creative.
Most Creative. And then Best Couple, I think, went to the Disco couple.
No, I voted for the Disco couple. They didn't win it. feel like I should remember.
It's hard to tell.
Yeah.
And best overall went to us.
Yep, largely because of very few people put their names into the hats for best overall.
Yeah, I think there was only 3 people. One of them was the pig person who already won something. So,
Yeah.
But it's nice to have another win under our belt for costumes.
Yeah.
I feel like we got legitimately.
Yep. And again, we look good.
And yeah. After that, they finished up with the silent auction, and they did have a card reader so you could pay stuff by card this year, which I appreciated.
Yep. Yeah, like we deliberately made sure we had enough cash for the things we were expecting to do.
Mm-hmm.
And again, like if there'd been anything in the silent auction we really wanted, then yeah, we would have broken out the cards.
Yeah. But there was no plush.
Nope. I find your lack of plush disturbing.
Yeah, a lot of people got good deals, and everything got a bid on it. So I do think the Lions Club will hopefully be happy with that, because all this was donated, so they're still going to be able to give money back to the community through the donations.
I would say so.
Maybe we can hire Alkali or one of the furries to...
Jesus. Again, I still love that line about charity auctions at furry events. They had to explain to their tax guy why so many items in their auction sold for either $69 or $420.
Mm-hmm.
To which the answer is because furries find that funny. Do you think in the next year or two we're going to start seeing bids of $67?
Probably.
The young people nowadays.
The youth.
But yeah.
So after that, they did a kind of sort of live auction thing to end the night, which is basically just people kind of just bid money to give money to charity to see if they could get like a special fund for somebody who was local in the community who was in need, and they managed to raise about I think $400-ish that way.
Little over 400.
Which is pretty cool.
Yep.
They also tried to auction off like soot oven or like stove cleaner that no one wanted. But I think they knew that was just something that was going to be hard to like pawn off on anyone. So instead, they just kind of rolled with the punches and just decided to have just kind of a bid up the price type thing.
Yeah,
which is cute. So yeah.
Yep. And so after that, it was around 10-ish.
10-15-ish. They were like tearing stuff down already in the back a little bit.
Yep.
Some people were heading to their cars because they were after the silent auction to get their stuff in, and some of them just didn't kind of come back in after that. So
what you getting is fair.
Multiple people were kind of leaving at that point, so we decided it was a good time to head out. Keep in mind, we do also have an hour-and-a-half drive back.
Yeah.
Currently on.
Satnav is currently estimating we will get home at 5 minutes to midnight.
Hooray! So yeah, that was the eyeball.
Yeah. Like, again, it's not the most complex event we go to. It's relatively low-key, but it's nice.
It's nice. It's fun. It's great people, good energy, and, like, for events that are basically local balls or something like that, it's by far my favorite. It's just so well done. It's exactly what it needs to be. It's entertaining. It feels way shorter than it is. It's just so good. And I really do think if more people went, they would really get the magic of it.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah. Again, I'm hoping it comes back again next year.
I understand I know the Lions Club has to put a lot of work into do it. I understand if they think that work is better spent being put into the local community as opposed to the eyeball, I can understand that.
Yeah.
But we hope it's going to come back selfishly.
Yeah, because we want to go again.
Yeah,
but again,
blast.
I think the main things they need to keep an eye out for next year is just slightly better marketing, even if it's just as simple as
slightly better marketing. Make sure tickets are like in a very intuitive place where people can find them. I know one else says you could buy tickets at the door, but I think for the most part people sign up in advance and stuff like that. And then maybe moving it a little bit earlier in the year so that it's not the last Saturday before Halloween.
Yes, I think that kind of screwed you over a little bit. Which again, I feel bad about.
Again, not wanting to be the same weekend as an OSU game because that creates crowds and also makes it difficult to get down from Columbus and things like that. But other stuff should factor in, I think, too. Like at least a week before it, or you could even do it the week after Halloween, because there's sometimes people who are just desperate to do more Halloween stuff after Halloween.
This is true. Don't do that though. We've got cons.
Yeah. I will also say, even though the building was kind of a more outdoorsy fairgrounds building, did have a bathroom, which is good.
Yep.
And also temperature, I will say, the entire night was quite good.
Mm. Yeah, they closed the sort of sliding garage door thing at one point.
Mm-hmm.
Which I'm assuming they did to keep the heat in.
Yeah.
But like, it was a perfectly pleasant building.
Yeah, I felt very comfortable all night.
I felt more comfortable there from a temperature point of view than I have at a lot of big cons. So yeah, that was the eyeball.
Yeah, well, it was fantastic, as it always is.
Yep, we had a lot of fun.
We did. I hope it's not the last year. I understand if it is, but if it's not and you're listening to this, you should definitely go next year.
Yeah, we will be there.
Yes.
So yeah.
Oh my god, all you have to do is the outro. Stop yawning.
Again, it's 11:30. I was up at 6 this morning looking after the bunnies.
Speaking of which, tomorrow we will be recording again.
Yeah.
Hopefully for Midwest Bun Fest. That definitely counts as a con.
That's a con.
It has fest in the title.
Yep.
And the only reason it's called Midwest, it has to rhyme with Midwest, so it's called fest.
Yep.
But it's a convention about bunnies.
Yep.
We could have taken our bunnies, but our bunnies are still adjusting to the house.
Yeah. Sean escaped yesterday. It was great.
Yeah.
I say escape. Like, he was still in the basement. He was just out of the area of the basement that we've actually bunny-proofed.
Mm-hmm.
So we had to, like, chase him down and get him back. It was, in hindsight, very, very sweet. At the time, kind of infuriating.
Yeah. So bunnies don't like to, like, generally hop across, like, hard floors because their paws slide.
Mm-hmm.
And Toby won't get pretty much on hard floors at all. Sean will a little bit, but he normally kind of stays in his back area.
Yeah.
Yesterday, he discovered that if he walks across the, like, hard floors, it becomes carpet again eventually.
Yeah.
So he discovered he can do that, and now that's all he wants to do.
Yeah. We've had to order some more Grady type stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Again, they're good boys.
They are.
But yeah, so that'll be tomorrow. So until then, thank you very much for listening. And we hope to see you again next time.
Bye.
Bye.